Yo, yo, my sovereigns, what up? This is Boba Fett, uncensored on the internet. With episode 203 of Splinterlands 101, join us once again, co-hosts of the show, finest gentleman who ever lived, chairman of the DAO, etc., Matt Clark.
Howdy, howdy.
And joining us again tonight, Giotrix 2.0, looking good.
Yes. Tried to make it on, trying to make an effort. I'm actually happy you postponed this episode because last night I went to like a basketball awards night. So, yeah, I can make it now. So, I'll be on and off just for everyone else. But, yeah.
You've even got the Puma gear rather than just a $5 Kmart T-shirt just to get sweaty in. You're going all in, huh?
No, this is old, and my dad bought it for me like 6 years ago. So
right. And you got the matching colours there with the boxing bag, like looking good.
Yeah.
And welcome to the show.
I'll just phase out for a little bit, and yeah, you guys continue on.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Gathering the Magic, a regular commenter on YouTube, but get the chance to ask tonight. Mate, why not on Peaked? Why not on one of the Hive platforms?
Greetings, owners of fine luxury digital rectangles. How is everyone tonight?
Doing well.
Awesome. Yeah, I got to get on Peaked and all that more. I get stuck in my routine of doing, YouTube videos and stuff like that, playing Splinterlands. So it's just one of those things. It's a time thing more than anything. But yeah, definitely have to get on Peaked more. Yeah.
I mean, back in the early days, like, with DTube and when FreeSpeak first started, there was uploading problems. You'd have to upload your video 2-3 times before it finally worked, and then someone would go to watch it and it wouldn't work. But those problems don't exist anymore. It's a good, healthy platform. So yeah, start posting on Peak, start making some Hive, and just even commenting on videos that people have put on. If you comment on Peaked, you're going to get an upvote. And yeah, YouTube, you're going to be ditching us soon anyway. Might as well start the transition.
Oh, I hope I don't end up losing my YouTube channel. I don't think I'm going to have any issues, but just have to kind of watch the content and I guess watch what you say on YouTube. But Splinterlands, to me, it's not like a casino or gambling site. So I think content creators should be safe, but like anything on YouTube, you never know.
Yeah, and that's the problem with centralization. We have no control and we don't know. We'll just be told what is. There's no DHF proposals. There's no DAO. There's just like, this is what's happening. Deal with it. Yeah.
I was talking with Matt a little bit yesterday, and I was telling him how I'm starting to look into maybe starting on Twitch, because a lot of content creators are starting to do Twitch. I watch OFG plays. He does a lot. Mick Ver. They're on Twitch a lot. So it's like, yeah, I need to start doing this, especially if YouTube is going to be an issue.
Yeah. And that gets us around to the fact that you are a seasoned veteran YouTube content creator. How did you come across, did you suddenly decide you wanted to start doing that with Splinterlands, or were you already creating content before you discovered Splinterlands?
No, it was through Splinterlands, and it was maybe, I'm trying to think how long ago now, 3.5 years ago, I think I got started, and it was from watching Gank and Walking Keys. They used to stream, I think, twice a week, and I really enjoyed their content, and I'm trying to think who else was doing it a lot back then. Bulldog was another one, After Sound, and of course, Dwayne, Infidel. So I saw those guys doing content and all this, and I'm like, hey, I love the game. It's like, I got to figure out how to do this. So I am like the lowest budget content creator that you can imagine. It's like, I didn't download any software. Somehow I realized if I just hit Windows G, I can record. It'll record my screen. I can start talking. I don't have to do a lot of editing, so that saves me a lot of time, and I can just go from there. Because some of the videos I do now, if I had to edit them, it would take me forever. Like the Market Watch videos take me anywhere from, today I think it took me about an hour, because land doesn't take very long. But the card Market Watch I do in 2 parts, and just doing all the data and then recording both parts usually takes about 3.5 hours. So put a lot of time into it. But like I said, I love the community. I love the game, and I'm not going anywhere. So hopefully people enjoy the content. And the main reason I'm doing it is just so, years from now, we can kind of look back on those videos and kind of see where the market was, where the player base was, what the chatter was at the time, what was, in the consciousness of the community, what were the big topics. So it's just kind of a history stamp more than anything.
That shows in your content. When I watch your videos, the way that you're sort of recording for posterity, you can sort of tell that you, especially the way that you do things the same way every time. So, and now we're going to move on to this, and now we're going to, so it's it's there as a consistent record, I guess, and I sort of share your I guess passion for recording things indefinitely, permanently, for the sake of, once the information's gone, you can't get it back again, right? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, these species are extinct. We can't just magic them up again, right? They're gone. Information that's lost is gone as well. Library of Alexandria. There's a fellow called Len.George on Hive. He's stopped now, I believe, but I followed him for several years. And all he was doing was backing up data that he'd found in old New Zealand Air Force storage. All of the information that was just going musty and water damaged in basements of 1962, the RAF got a shipment of 20 Hurricanes. This one was flown by this pilot between these dates, and just data, just reams and reams and reams of data. But I think he's quite an older gent. He recognized, okay, the blockchain is a way to store this stuff long term. And if I don't store it, if I don't save it, if I don't archive it somewhere it's not going to just get destroyed, the government's not going to look after it. They'll just let it turn to mush. And then it's gone forever. We cannot get this information back. And I think people like that are drawn to the blockchain, the permanent nature of it.
Was that a consideration when you started collecting cards or started coming across, like, were you into crypto already? Was Splinterlands your introduction to crypto as well?
I knew about crypto. I think I got into crypto a little bit around 2019. Just started researching it a little bit because I'd heard a lot about it, and got into Splinterlands. I think it was the summer of 2021. So I was into crypto a little bit before then.
And how was that? How did you get into Splinterlands?
Actually, it was through a crypto show, Crypto Banter, and I think it's still going on now. I was watching that show, and they were playing Splinterlands, like the two hosts of the show. And I saw that, and I'm like, wait a minute, I remember seeing that a year or two ago. I'm going to have to check this out because it looked kind of interesting at the time. So I signed up like that day, and I think my wife signed up like a day or two later. And it just turns out this was like the day before the SPS drop started. So we got in like the perfect time, like right before that started. And I remember in the first week watching Bulldog, and he showed like how much SPS he got airdropped, like from having all of his assets and cards and everything. And I looked at the amount, and it was like in the tens of thousands of dollars for what the value of his SPS was. And I looked at my wife and I said, I think I should have signed up for this when I first saw it 2 years ago. Yeah. That would have been just life-changing at that point.
It's interesting with the markets. Like at one point, as this is about the time that Geo got into during the peak of the last run, my card collection, like market value of the cards was like $40,000 or something. And I haven't sold anything. And you look at it today, it's like completely different. And I was talking with Matt a couple of weeks ago, like with what's going on with Bitcoin and everything. It's like, did we just go for a bull market and not recognize it? I mean, we did go from 60,000 to 124,000. Like but it just didn't feel like a bull run. And I'm thinking, oh, is that why everything's getting hammered at the moment? Not because of Trump's tweets, but are we already back in the neck? Now, we're all waiting for the next bull market. Have we had it? And is this next bet? We're already in the next bear. What do you think?
No, it just goes in waves and cycles. I think this is just kind of a profit taking and probably some things, manipulation behind the scenes. So I think Bitcoin in the next few months is just going to start the next leg up, the next trend. So I'm not worried about it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think historically alts have really benefited after Bitcoin's made a giant leap forward, because people say, okay, it's not going to keep going now. It's had this catastrophic rise, a real green candle, I'm gonna diversify now into alts, because if I can get a 2x in Bitcoin, and then I can get a 2 or a 3 or a 10x in quality alts, then I've gone 20x, and that's what I'm looking for. So I kind of feel like as Bitcoin crept up, people were waiting for that big jump, the big catastrophic, monumental, climactic jump, and then move across. And it just kind of never happened. It just kept moving up a little bit at a time, and it was the frog in the boiling water. There was never that moment where someone said, okay, I need to diversify into quality alts now, because it still felt like, okay, we're at 125, but we didn't jump from 60 to 125. We just eased our way up there. So yeah, I don't know how things are going to play out in the future. I think Bitcoin's based too much in sentiment. I'm into Splinterlands because not many people know about it. Every man and his dog knows about Bitcoin now. So I've been out of Bitcoin for years. I think find a quality project before the world's discovered it. Dig in deep. And Magic, I was getting like 5,000 SPS a day when that airdrop was on. And for the brief period that it was $1, SPS was $1. I was like, this is ridiculous and unsustainable, that I'm basically just being airdropped, given $5,000 a day worth of this crypto token. It's just insane. But here we are. I didn't sell. I'm just still hodling and believe in the long-term value of the project. One thing I would say is, okay, we didn't get a big jump from Bitcoin climbing, but we didn't get really damaged when it plummeted either, right? So I said this the other day on with Keegs on Under the Hood. Bitcoin lost 30 grand, and SPS kind of went down a little bit. I get that we're at historic lows anyway, but it didn't totally just plummet.
Zero
it's
us,
just yeah, exactly.
I think we pretty much hit the floor for SPS. I think if it gets anywhere near half a cent, you're going to have some of the whales just scoop in and just add a few million here or there to their bag. So I'm not too worried about it going lower. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to go up in any significant amount in the near future until we continue to get more players consistently. I've mentioned before on another show, I wish they would get rid of SPS renting. You just had to buy SPS. I think that would help the price. I understand why we have renting, but I wish that could be limited somehow. And if we had an in-game burn mechanism where there's something you have to do in-game that requires burning, even if it's small amount, 5, 10, 20 SPS to do something in-game, I think that would really help, just slowly eat away at that massive, like 2.7 billion supply that we still have.
Yeah, agreed. The flywheel does that, but only when DEX at peg, right? Only when DEC's at peg. When it's not, there's no mechanism really for burning SPS. It's all just sell it on the market. So I agree. It'd be good if there was some part of the Avatar project, maybe some special, total lifetime SPS burn, whether DEX at peg or not, right? So I could see that being there's been times when DEC is close to peg, and I've thought, do I send it to tribal DEX and swap, and then send it back again, or I'll just donate a bit of value back to the game and just burn SPS, even though DEC is below peg. But I'd be probably more inclined to do that if there was a 100,000 SPS burnt badge that was attached to my avatar. I think that would be a good, get bragging rights, and also let people know, no, this person is working for the benefit of the game, not just harvesting for their own sake.
But here's a bit of encouragement. How many crypto charts have you looked at, like altcoins and everything else, even like Ethereum? Go back years and look at the graph where it's just like a straight line across for years, multiple years, and then all of a sudden something happens and triggers it, and it just goes almost straight up. I don't know when it's going to happen, but just in my gut, Splinterlands is going to be, like you said, get in a project, get in it early. I've said before, this is Magic the Gathering 2.0 digital. So I have no doubt whatsoever at some point we're going to see just, like they say, moon ship or whatever. And people that have stayed the course, keep on forging, we're the ones that are going to benefit from that.
Yeah, and look, crypto is very frictionless, right? So there are guys who want to move Bitcoin into alts and then time it right to move back into Bitcoin. But I can see guys who diversify their collections and diversify their holdings, saying, look, I'll move some into Ethereum, some into Solana. I'll buy some Splinterlands assets, when it comes time to liquidate some of those alts and move back into Bitcoin, I think the cards are the last one they're going to want to liquidate, right? Because you kind of buy the cards and they're product that you buy, not an asset class, so to speak. They're a product, and you've won battles with them. Oh, that's my Ice Pixie. I love her. I've won so many battles. There's an emotional attachment there to your cards, so I kind of feel like they're the last thing that people are going to liquidate to move back into Bitcoin if they think the seasons are changing. And I think we saw that with this recent Bitcoin drop. It didn't really affect us that much. I think it's the whole market sort of uncoupling from Bitcoin in a way, which who knows where the future goes, but I think that's good for us.
You mentioned looking at the charts earlier, Magic, and I remember back at the last bull run during the pandemic, like I got into a little bit of leverage trading because it was just so predictable. Like the huge spikes, and every now and then you'd mistime it and you'd get wiped out on a trade with a sudden drop. But it was so predictable. Whereas this market hasn't been like that at all, yet we still saw a doubling. So has something, because it's just not following existing trends. It's just not. Are we at a new stage? Because this is a pioneering field. I mean, there are really no crypto experts. This is a pioneering field. Have we entered a new stage that's just very different?
I don't know. I did see a post on X earlier today that was interesting. They said, historically for Bitcoin, anytime there's been a red November, there's been a red December. So we'll see if that holds true for this month. Or like you said, maybe we're going to go into a different direction. But historically, if we've had bad November for Bitcoin, it's a bad December, which is a buying opportunity. I guess you can look at it that way too.
Yeah. We didn't have the October for the alts in October. I feel we're in totally new territory.
So, Magic, what would you like to see while we've got you? What direction would you like to see the game go? I know anyone who's been around for a while has different sort of thoughts and beliefs about what should we focus on. Obviously, land is going to be a big factor there. But what directions would you like to see the game go in future? Single player,
campaign mode. To me, that's been the thing that I've talked with Matt about, in town halls and all that. Because what I've heard and what I've experienced just in gaming in general, I think a lot of people like to just play a game solo. They don't want to do player versus player. They want to come in, they want to get immersed in a world, immersed in a storyline, play their game, play their matches, earn the rewards and be done. And with me, Splinterlands has always seemed kind of backwards in a way because they made PvP like the main focus of the game. Instead of the campaign mode, the single player. So I'd like to see them continue land, get 2.0, get more resources, permanent buildings and all that. But I think the main focus, especially now since you've got frontier mode and you've got the starter campaign to get people, kind of introduced to the game. I think the next step is let's focus on, because they focused on collectors now with foils. They've focused on getting new people into the game. They're starting to do the marketing. Now let's focus on the single player gamers, and even us veterans. I would love it where at the beginning of a season, let's say there's 5 different campaigns that you can do at every level, from bronze all the way up to champion. Maybe each one is like splinter oriented where, okay, do I want to do the death campaign? And you go through this long storyline with multiple acts or whatever, boss fights along the way. Unique rewards, skins, avatars, it doesn't have to be SPS for rewards, once we get the avatars and the skins and all that, but, just have different type of rewards and different campaigns, because campaigns you can just do over and over again. And plus, once you have a few that are released, you can always add more. And that just keeps something new, keeps something fresh where it's like, oh, okay, I've got, the existing 5 campaigns done. I've gone through all the difficulty levels. I've got all my badges, achievements, all that. Now what? Oh, wait, Tuesday, they're releasing a new campaign. Awesome. I can't wait. And that keeps the engagement going. So for me, the main thing I would like to see the team do is campaign mode. I think they did a great job. Just get the campaigns out for the veterans.
Yeah, because that is the standard with any other game, isn't it? I mean, whether you're playing StarCraft or Command and Conquer, There's Guild Wars. I put
Mhm.
a few hours into that game as well, and it's all about the campaign, the quests, going through, getting the rewards. PvP is just a 5% of the people playing the game are there doing PvP. The
Mhm.
rest is all quest orientated. And yeah, like you said, we've done the complete opposite.
I think Splinterlands will get to the point where 50% of the game will be land, 40%, well, let's say 30% of the game will be campaign, 10% will be ranked, and 10% will be guild. You know, your main focus, I think, is going to be campaign and land.
And have you seen any positive indications that we are headed in the direction you'd like to see?
I've seen a lot of positive direction this year. I think 2020, I mentioned to Matt yesterday, 2025 has been my favorite year by far in Splinterlands. They got so much accomplished this year. You know, things that people didn't even want. It's like Frontier. Nobody wants Frontier. Why are we messing with that? And then it becomes the most popular game mode, you know, is bringing in and retaining new players. You know, we got the new Conclave Arcana set. We've got new Conclave Arcana rewards. I was really hoping that they were going to delay the mini set just because there was so much happening, and they said it's going to come out first quarter next year. I'm like, good. I need a break from all this new stuff that's been coming out. Can I just have a little bit of time to relax? I don't even have my Conclave Arcana reward cards yet, and now you're going to have a mini set come out. You know, give me a break here a little bit. So, yeah, they've had a fantastic year, and I think 2026 is going to be even better.
Yeah, I feel I got left behind a bit, definitely this year. Like I said, it's just so much happening all at once. It's like in the past, I think as the game's been expanding, because right at the very beginning, there was so little to do, you did everything. And the game's been expanding in more and more directions. I think still got that old mindset of I still want to do everything. And because I can't, I'm feeling overwhelmed and feeling run out, like I just can't do everything. And I realize, okay, this is the point we're at now, where we now need to decide, okay, there's a lot of options here. Where do I want to specialize? Because you can't do everything anymore.
And I think people are going to be a lot more specialized in the next year or two. You know, you're going to have your players like Level Up Life, where all they do is land. They don't play anything else. It's just land. You're going to have other players once they get the guild hall overhaul done next year. I think you're going to have a lot of people that are going to focus more on guilds, building up the guilds, doing whatever the new guild items are going to be. You're going to have other people that stay in ranked. You know, maybe eventually they come up with different game modes and people are just, you know, hey, I'm a wild player, or, you know, different formats. So it's going to be hard for people to do everything, like you said. So I think, you know, in the next year or so, we're going to get the diversification where you have the land only crew, you know, the ranked only crew, that type of thing.
Well, I've Bob, you like my NASCAR analogy I've used a few times, where essentially people arriving and they've, what can I do to, and I've explained NASCAR. There are a lot of people who make a living off of NASCAR, but there's one guy selling ad space. There's another guy in the car park selling hot dogs. There's all sorts of different roles that you can take on, and that's you know, going to be a Twitch streamer, or are you going to you know, specialize in just running guilds? You could you know, build up guilds and rent out spots in guilds to depending on how this overhaul goes. But there's scope there for a lot of different people, and one side effect of becoming that is that you can't be the one guy who does everything. Like you're implying, Bob, you know, you can't be the guy who's calling the race while also being the guy who's selling the hot dogs in the car park. There's only so much room for one person to do so much. So I'm the same. I can feel land really pulling me in, and that's becoming my big focus. But I also run the Roaring Twenties Guild. I would like to see, you know, now that you're talking about campaign mode expanding, I would like to see almost like, if you picture like a D&D campaign where you have your group, right? You have your guys. So I'd like to see, instead of just guild brawls where each person in the guild is just submitting their matches and how did we go at the end of it, I would like to see some sort of a co-op, you know, not PVC, but still multiplayer, but sort of more of a co-op campaign that your guild can go and do a guild quest, and everybody, whether they need to coordinate being together at the same time, or whether it's kind of like brawls where you've got this period of time to do it, but everybody works together and cooperates with each other and shares resources and intel and that type of thing to really, you know, crack into some of those more, feel like you're part of a group rather than just fight your own battles and the guild collects the rewards.
I wonder if they're going to do that with guilds. With in the past, it's always been you have to use merits or DEC to like level up buildings and all that. I wonder if in the future they're going to do it where you bring in land resources. You know, everyone in the guild submits. You know, they donate wood, lumber, you know, ore, stone, that kind of thing to help level up your buildings or unlock certain things in guilds. That would be kind of interesting.
There's definitely a tension there because when guilds came out, there was mention that guild members and landholders would be of benefit to each other. You know, that if you have land and you're a member of a high level guild, then that will benefit your land. And so a lot of guys who bought a lot of land moved over to the Roaring Twenties, and we all sort of just said, well, we'll have a guild together so that, you know, we'll build up the guild, and then whenever those benefits flow through to the landholders, then we won't miss out on those benefits. But that's as yet not eventuated. So I've essentially got a guild full of people that aren't necessarily keen to brawl every week, and we'll limp into pretty much every guild brawl, you know, at half strength with a whole lot of empty phrase, because guys who bought their seat in the guild 3-4 years ago aren't interested in brawling. They just want whatever benefit to land flows through to guild members. So I'd kind of feel like if that's not going to happen, it would be handy if the game would just say, okay, we're just gonna nix that, and it's not gonna happen anymore. And then those guys could just go, oh, I'll sell my seat in the guild then. But at the moment, we're sort of in this, and we have been for a long time. We're in this sort of grey realm where nobody wants to give up their seat just in case, but nobody really wants to actually battle in a guild at the moment anyway. So I'd like to see a lot more content there that is more engaging and involving, and does bring land into guilds and brings guilds into land, or separate the two entirely. But at the moment, we're kind of, we're in a grey area.
I think the guild brawls happen too often as well. Like, it seems like you just finish one and you don't get a chance. All of a sudden, and the pressure's on because the time is running. You got to cement your teams. Like, once a week is enough, I think, for a brawl.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like as soon as one is over, it's like the next morning, it's like, oh, Guild Brawl Fraser open. I'm like, what? Didn't we just end one? There's another one already.
Yeah. And again, there's more SPS coming out of that as well. There's another SPS fountain. Yeah.
That's why the price isn't going to go up. It's too easy to get SPS between Guild Brawls and ranked and everything else, and, you know, survival mode if that comes back. So that's why I tell people, it's like, don't expect it to go up until it's not easily given away and we have more in-game or some kind of burn mechanisms. You know, it has to be something that people need to buy, and there's no really need to buy right now, you know, other than, you know, you want to just get more for higher rewards, you know, but still, it's a great time to buy with it being under a penny. So, and people get in that normalcy mindset where you're used to crypto being in a certain range or at a certain level, and then all of a sudden when it takes off, it's like, oh man, I wish I had bought more, and it was that low for that long, and I didn't take advantage of it because I thought it was always going to be that low. So don't say I didn't warn you. It'll happen at some point.
Yeah, I think everyone's experienced that at least once with something. Yeah. But with the guild overhaul, like if the guild brawls became such a, like you mentioned, the specialization area, and there's people focused specifically on brawls, which is going to be the PvP community. If that's become such a thing, and the top 20 guilds become almost impossible to get in, you need to be that good type thing, then you can start offering incentive rewards appealing to the brawlers, the guilders, without having to give away SPS. So at the moment, like, SPS is a draw card because people aren't brawling. Or, hey, come brawl and get some SPS. If the guilds became something like clicky and unique to that very specialized market, then introduce something that's guild orientated, something you can earn a reward that's, you know, avatar related or guild building related, rather than just giving away SPS for brawls.
Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm.
All right, so another focus that I think all three of us have in common is that on land. Like I've been getting into the DEC stone pools. I've got I actually bought some Gold Foil legendaries to put on there. Like I've put some strong focus on land. Now the land cards are coming out. We've talked about it a lot, but gathering, what's your take on the land cards?
One thing I wanted to ask Matt is, can you put more than one land card on a plot, or are you limited to just one?
Yeah, so you can put multiple land cards on the same plot, but only the highest multiplier will apply. So you get one card that gives you a 5% boost to wood production, another card gives you a 20% boost. Well, it's just going to be the 20% boost for that plot. So they're not additive.
They don't stack.
It'll just be the highest. Yeah, they don't stack. There is one of the abilities escapes me now, but it's the bloodline one, and because I've been looking at the rare land card that benefits wood production is going to be my big focus, because I'm really pushing into the wood pool at the moment. I'm 5.3%, and I really want to get up to 10% of the wood pool as a primary short-term focus. So I'm going to be crafting quite a few of those rare cards to max level. I'm thinking max level. I know you did mention in chat that I could have bring a lot more plots online, and especially with the fact that they'll replace a power core too. You don't have to worry about that extra 5,000 DEC, and if you get the reduction in the DEC staking requirements as well. So there is some incentive there to bring extra plots online. But I also have like a legendary totem and a legendary title, and it's on a legendary plot that does, so I've already got very focused, like high quality plots. And so I sort of feel like putting a maxed card on that is going to be, I'd rather sort of, really focus at the very top end. And so I kind of, I'm torn on that. I think I'll probably just go on instinct and go for those dopamine hits of trying to get the luck. But because of the rare card has that elf bloodline, I've been looking through my back catalogue to say what cards can I put on there. So when you say do multiple land cards work, they will, but only the highest multiplier will apply. But I'm looking for an elf card that's just a standard elf card to go on next to my land card, next to my rare land card, and I found a Daria Dragonscale Summoner that's it's only like halfway leveled. It's already on a plot of land, and I have enough loose copies to combine. So I'm going to pull that Daria off, combine it till it's max, then put it back on with a rare max land card, and then get the extra multipliers. So I think 70% wood production based on the land card, but also a bonus like 30% for having another elf card on the same plot. So the whole land cards thing, it's definitely worth reading up on and learning about and experimenting with when it first starts, because ultimately you can make mistakes. Doesn't matter in the first week or two. It's about the longer term. What's the next 6 months going to look like? Because the decisions you make now, as long as you revisit them, if you make a mistake, doesn't matter so much. But if you leave it there and you leave a suboptimal arrangement, then and then for the next 6 months you just come in and harvest before you revisit anything, you've missed out on a whole lot of compounding benefits that you would have got if you hadn't have just paid attention to specifically what works with what. So I'm trying to really wrap my head around the land cards thing and get it right the first time. But yeah, I think that's going to be my focus. I'm going to be aiming for maybe 3 or 4 rares, and the allocated, what we get allocation, I don't have a heap of PP on land, but I ended up not even getting allocation for half of a rare max level land card. So I'm going to be hoping that there's not a feeding frenzy to manufacture these cards when they become available, which will be about the 5th. I think on the 2nd we can start making them, and then there's this 3-day period where you can only make your allocated ones, and then beyond that, then you can make whatever's available until they run out. I'd love to see a feeding frenzy, but I'd also like to make sure I get a couple of max rares just to really supercharge my wood.
Yeah, that's my big fear, is just when it goes live, because I want to get a max common, but it's like I don't want to burn everything ahead of time and swap all this DEC for grain, and then I have to go to work or it's not available, and then I get home and they're all sold out. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to do my allocation. I think I'm only allocated I think it's like 30 some commons, 5 rares, and then I can't do the epics and legendaries because I don't have the aura. But I was just curious how you were looking at it, because I know you have 2 regions, and probably a lot of the regions are probably vacant. So I think you've done your best plots. But I was wondering if you were going to look at something like, since you're big into wood and going to do the rares, if you're going to go for just a ton of level 2s, just to get that energized to save a power core, and just start plopping those on plot after plot after plot, because you could fill 21 different land workers at level 2 or have one maxed. So I'm just kind of curious to see, do you want to go just for that one max and the labor's luck, or just have 21 plots that, you've taken care of power cores and all that?
Yeah, well, obviously I'd like to do both, all of the above.
I want to do it all.
Yeah, exactly. I would prefer to see them all crafted and gone within an hour, and hearts broken. And why didn't I take the day off work? Because I want to see some FOMO, right? I want to see some enthusiasm and some excitement. I want to see people missing out. I want to see things moving. I want to see shelves empty, because that's all good for the game, right? That's good for bringing in players who say, I missed out on this thing, but I want to make sure I'm going to be lined up for the next thing. I remember when land sold out, the very first land sales to tier 1 was like, bam, it's just gone. And so that really drove interest and excitement for the game. So that's, even if that means that I personally miss out, it's okay. And I think there's a lot of that mentality amongst the upper echelons of the game with the whales and the like. You get guys like Voctus and Brave Tofu and Crypto Eater who they're sitting on mad stacks of SPS, and I know they're seeing it around that $0.50 and thinking, I could just I'm quite sure these guys have fairly deep pockets in fiat terms, and they're like, I could just move another 20 grand in, and that would buy me so much more. But they also don't want to centralize the game, right? And I don't want to be the guy who owns all the land. I want to be the guy who owns a lot of land, but not all the land. And I don't want to be the guy who owns all of the land cards. I've already kind of got my thing with flesh golems. I'm happy with that. But I was glad when the beta flesh golems came out, because then I'm not denying anybody else the chance to battle with them, right? I'm just hoarding the alpha version. You can have the beta version. You can have the So there's a tension there. So if I'm the only person in the game who doesn't manage to get a max level land card, I'd be delighted with that, right? I am thinking, because I have got a decent stack of aura right now, I'm possibly thinking of maybe I could craft some epics and legendaries and perhaps sell them. Maybe just craft them while they're available and sell them. But again, I'll be waiting an hour or two, because I don't want to be that guy who's big and also first one lined up to grab whatever's there. I kind of feel like we need to have opportunities for newcomers to get a foot in the door.
I think they're going to sell very well if people decide to put, if someone's not allocated very much and they're like, I can only craft 5 or 10, commons or rares. They decide to put them on the market. I think they're going to sell very well, because they are so limited. So I'm curious to see what the price is going to be when those things go live.
For me, it's about Chaos Legion packs. I want to see the price of those on the secondary market climb. I want to see them back at $1. Right? That for me is they're really holding us down. Because as long as you can buy a pack nice and cheap and burn it for DEC, why would you buy DEC off the market and push up the price? Why would you burn SPS to make new DEC when you can just burn Chaos Legion packs that are a dime a dozen? So until the price of those go up, that's my signifier. That's my signal I'm looking for that the way that things are turning around. And
one thing
having them burnable for Cinder is obviously going to be a big part of that. And Soulkeep too as well. Soulkeep is going to be burnable for Cinder. So I got 1,000 packs there ready to open and burn. A little bit tragic thinking you've only just popped into existence and now you're immediately burned, but them's the breaks.
Yeah, one thing I want to kind of stress to people too is seems like with land and maybe just cards in general, everyone looks at max level, like, I have to have max level cards. I have to have max level land. It's like, play whatever level you're comfortable with, whatever level your budget allows, and don't think that you have to go max for everything. I've mentioned this a lot in some of my previous videos about like cards for land. Is I love looking at like the gold epics, because you can only put, you can just put one at a time on land. It only takes 10 to max one out. You can just buy them one at a time, and it only takes 1,000 DEC. So if you are on kind of a limited budget, you want to just slowly grow your land, that's one way to look at it. So anyone listening to this, don't think that, I can't make a max level land card, why bother? definitely, if you have an allocation, go ahead and at least do that, even if you're not going to do anything, past the 3 days.
Yeah, and look at the stats on them, right? Like, look at what do I actually really value, what do I need, and what do I want, and remember, you can in the future add to that, right? So if you do, what you're saying, if you do want to grab a card, and you don't need to commit to it being max level, you don't need to buy a full Bitcoin, right? There's no need for that. Just buy what what you can and what you're comfortable with, and you can always add to it down the track, unless of course they're all made, snapped up, and then you'll just have to buy for whatever the market's charging. But it's all just estimating where it's going to go, right? We're all just playing the game, and this is part of the game, guessing.
Yeah, I would think anyone that can get a hold of a level 5 common to get that dark discount is pretty good. That's for me like a key level that I'd like to get the common at, just to get that 50% off dark discount, because now you're looking at, you only have to put 25,000 DEC on a plot instead of 50,000. And then for the rare, I'm looking at level 2 is a key level to get the bountiful wood and to get the energized is the main part. So even if players can only get cards to those level, I think that's going to be a huge benefit.
And what's the best resource at the moment for like all of that information? Is because I know like the land card post didn't, like, there's a lot of information you guys have just shared that I know didn't come from that post. Have you got some links, or even your own videos, Magic, like some links that we can put into the blog section that people can click on?
The one that I'm looking at right now, I think it's Beaker's site. It's land.spl-stats.com.
Yep, I've got that one bookmarked.
Yep.
I use that one a lot. It's a good site.
That's the one I look at a lot. That's the one where I found out what my allocation is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Beaker's link will be in the blog below.
He does amazing work. He just comes up with the most useful sites. I think he also came out with the one for the multi-account, which is huge for me because I have 4 different accounts. So I can kind of look at a glance and say, okay, which ones have I played Frontier? Which ones, okay, did I put my guild brawls in on all of them? So just fantastic resource. So definitely shout out to Beaker. Yeah,
Dave McCoy dropped a link to that in the tavern as well.
Mm-hmm.
He did that. It just, like, a lot of us, we see it and we think, oh, if only you could do this, if only you could do that. And we've got people like Beaker out there who just do it,
Mm-hmm. So what are you aiming for land cards? What type of cards? What level?
I don't know if I'm setting my goal too high, but I quite like Matt's idea of going for the rares, because you're not, there's people who are going to be scooping up the commons because they're commons. They're going to look at it as a cheap option. Then you got the people who just must have the legendaries. So I'm thinking of rares. It's because my allocation was really, really small. I was actually shocked. And I've got like a lot of legendaries on my plots, and I had no allocation at all for legendary. I've got like 2 or 3 epics. I can't remember, but it wasn't that impressive to look at. Mm-hmm. So I think rare. And plus, I can then focus on stone as well.
So is Matt going to loan you some of his millions and millions of wood?
Well, stone is my main focus that I want to work on. And again, we've got to look at a bloodline. Imagine like bloodline workers for bonuses, all kinds of things. Because I bought cards like specific to a plot. And then when I centralized into Queenstone, because I still have a plot, it's a rare magical or something, I can't remember, in Lumley that I want to sell, because it was outside transport costs, etc. Because I bought another one for Queenstone. So I basically want all of my plots making stone except for one making grain, still in Queenstone to support those workers. So when I put my cards on Lumley, those cards that were giving me in the planes, giving me the bonuses, were actually giving me negatives in my quarry plots. So I bought all these cards specifically for this area that became. I mean, I can battle with them, but like I've got like now 2 of some of the like I've got legendaries and Gold 4 legendaries. I've got 2 of because I can't use those cards now that I've focused on stone. And going even further back, like when first picking plots, I thought, oh, some here, some here, some here. You know, when you realise the expense of that now. So trying to like the more information that becomes available, I'm trying to refocus on that. So stone production is going to be my focus, but I've got to really look at the cards now as well to sort of. I want to like when there's options available for the. I want a card that's going to give me a little bit more than what's already on there, because that little bit every week is a lot at the end of the year. So, yeah, I've got to look at the fine tuning. I think I've got the course tuning down okay for now. But again, as more stuff comes out, land to, you know, with our harvesting, we're going to all go. Suddenly, do we all need silos on our like all of these things to consider? You can only sort of fine tune in retrospect. So it's like you're always playing catch up. But that's my I've got some really big hitters on one of my. So I've got one plot out of 4 that are producing stone, and one is like a main. I wanted one plot doing maximum damage, so I've got the big hitters on there, and I've got some cards that are like then. Not quite maxed simply because there's nothing on the market to max them. So
what, you're saying the market is thin?
Oh yeah, for those specific cards.
We don't have that many players. How can the market be thin? What's going to happen when we get thousands more? I wonder.
Good example is the Lord of Darkness,
Yep.
and I made an epic mistake when I went to. I don't know if we're still calling it Elmo, Crypto Eater's site. Is it still Elmo? Because it's something else now, and it comes up anyway. And I saw it. It was so cheap. I was oh wow, and I scooped up a bunch, and then I realised they were all betas. Whereas what I was trying to max was my alpha.
Okay. Yep.
So I just moved him across to my silver account for a while, but then I realised even at his level of the beta, it had benefits. So I brought him back onto land again. But my alpha, I can't max it. The Lord of Darkness, and there's a couple of others that are like just one level under that there's nothing on the market to max them. So all of the doom and gloom about the card market, it's like, no, if you know what a card can do and the benefits of a card, okay, yes, there's 100,000 lava spiders on the market for 1 cent, but like, well, as suddenly like a lava spider becomes valuable for something, that the same thing will happen. Same thing will happen.
Yep. Even now, something changes. The wind changes. A new rule set gets announced. You get 10,000 guys all saying, "Actually, I'm gonna hoard this," and then boom, the price goes up. You know,
you've been talking about the Ice Pixie a lot lately, right?
Yeah,
how much you love
the Ice Pixie.
Have a look in the market for Ice Pixies.
Oh, they're getting snapped up, are they? People listening to me?
There's like 3, and they're like ridiculously expensive. 3 single BCX.
Mine ages ago.
So, because I need I need 11. I need 11 BCX to max my Ice Pixie.
Where's the Ice Pixie?
But look at the prices of what's on the market.
Wow, look at that. $4.49.
Do you want to share while you've got it up,
or
Matt?
$3.90 for a gold.
What?
But there's only like 4 cards, 4 gold foil cards.
Hang on.
You can't. There's not enough there to max one. You need 22 to max a gold foil rare.
Yeah, so you either have it or you if you've got a couple of golds, now would be the time to maybe snap up what's left on the market there. So there's 5, 6, 7 BCX of gold for sale. And if we look at the regulars, we've only got 10 BCX there.
Is this a common theme across the entire Untamed set?
So go back, Matt.
To regular?
Regular, yeah.
Yeah.
I need 11. There's 10 there.
That could get you close.
Yeah, one sec.
Let's look at Peak Monsters, because that's... Oh, actually, there's not enough to max. I was going to... Never mind. I like to do a comparison, how much to max in regular, how much to max in gold. That's really easy to do on Peak Monsters.
There's not enough there in gold.
There's not enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this like the common occurrence, like theme with like cards from Untamed and before beta and all that? Is there like less on the market now? Are they drying up?
Okay, you can refresh the page now, Matt. Oh, you stopped sharing.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
There's no
you've just gone and...
I just grabbed those two.
Nice.
So I just need one BCX now to max my Ice Pixie. No, I still need one BCX.
You need one more?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. But yeah, it just goes to show, you look at people talking the doom and the gloom of, and yeah, there's a lot of excess Chaos Legion that really don't have a function, but those that are good, I mean, Immortalis, Goldfoil Immortalis, Possibilis, like that, they're still up there in value.
Wow.
Look at Chaos. BCX. Look at Chaos Legion and look at max level cards for gold foil.
Someone want to bring that up and share? Who's already on the market?
I just sent you an Ice Pixie, Bob, that can finish your...
I
had a few spares. So what are we pulling up?
Chaos Legion, max level, and then gold foils.
Okay.
The cards are disappearing very, very quickly.
They're 15 cents for like commons and stuff. What? 18, $3, $5.
Oh, you got it, Gio? Can you share, Gio?
Yeah, and go ahead.
Yeah.
Set it to max level.
Hold on, I'm a bit rusty with this actually.
I now have a maxed Ice Pixie. Thanks, Matt.
All right. Yes. So, no, I stopped video. What am I doing, Share?
The big green one at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's been that long, Gio.
Oh, it really has. So, how do you check out max level or level? Max level.
Yep. Just go all the way down.
You want
and then sort by where it says element to the left of that. Sort by price, cheapest price.
Cheapest. So that's down. No, that'd be up. Okay.
So for the commons, where the commons have usually been. For chaos and for the reward cards for gold foil max, anywhere from like I would say $4.50 to $6.
Yeah.
So now your floor is pretty much $8 plus, quickly going to $9 and $10. And these are the ones that were tons and tons and tons of. Like Pellicor Bandit is up to $10.50. So that's for your commons. Your commons are already disappearing.
I have a couple of maxed gold foil Pellicor Bandits. I really scooped up when they were like 1 cent. Yeah.
Killer Dragon 24 here in Adelaide, he's just got an insane collection of Pellicor Bandits.
And the winged one, the Albatross, the Conjurer, Pellicor Conjurer, got a couple of maxed gold foils of those too.
Okay, and look at the prices of those. Pellicor Mercenary, $11.80. Let's see. Bandits at $10.50, Conjurers at $9. But there's only one copy at $9. Then it goes to $13.80. Then it goes to $18.50. So don't be surprised in the not too distant future. You see all these commons at $12, $15 plus for a max copy.
What?
Now go to rare.
Sorry. What am I doing? Gold, rare, unclick common. No, that's summoners.
I wouldn't have guessed the Goblin Psychic to be the cheapest one though. That's such a good card.
That is an excellent card. I love that card. I use it all the time.
Really strange,
Silence, poison. Hits what 3 damage or something at max.
Does that suggest maybe it's land guys snapping up these cards and pushing up the price? Because
100%.
the card's the card, right? Like it's battlers. I think if it was battlers buying cards, there's no way the Goblin Psychic would be the cheapest.
No way.
And look at how few rares there are on that list.
5, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1. What?
And look at there's only 8 different cards. How many are there rare for Chaos Legion? And it's so overproduced, it's so overprinted. There's way too many cards. That's it, guys. That's all that's on the market.
Wow.
And then go to epics, and epics will be even fewer.
Jeez.
Get ready for this. 3 different max epics. That's it. There's your entire market right there.
Wow.
And I would say two of the best ones are on that list, neutrals. I have become very, very appreciative, and they are so overlooked, is the power of neutrals for land. And I've learned this from my own experience where I bought a ton of gin chihuahuas because I had some hills and I put them on there. And now it's like, oh, I want to move them over to my lakes and rivers. Oh, wait, I can't. But if I get neutrals, I can put them anywhere I want.
Okay.
And
Now
the
I'll
only
go
thing I'm
core.
giving up is a 10% bonus.
Oh, damn, there's no gold? Wait, there's no gold reward Chaos Legion. No? Is it? Epics?
And yet Chaos Legion packs, I'm on tribal decks, 25 and a half cents.
Yep.
How does that make that make sense, right?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's insane.
And then the legendaries just have gone up in price just in the last week since I did the card market watch last week. I think the floor was like $85, $90 for the cheapest max gold legendary. Now the cheapest is $101. And there are only a total of, let's see, 8, 9. There are 11 total max gold foil Chaos Legion legendaries. Yep, Gio's got it right there. That's it. That's your entire market. With however many hundreds or a couple thousand players we have. And this being printed in the however many million packs. That's it, guys.
I looked at the market a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago, and it wasn't like this.
No,
it was plentiful.
no. So what's going to happen when land cards come out Tuesday? Cinder is a big success. Land cards are a huge success. Players start demanding the next set of land cards. Maybe they'll come out the end of 2026, early 2027. What are people going to burn that's going to be cheap?
I've got like 500 Chaos Legion packs.
There you go. Good move. I would get as many as you can. I need to do that as well.
Buy them off the market, 25 cents. That's absurd.
25 cents, 30 cents. Yep. I was also eyeing Rift Watchers too. I think Rift Watchers is a great price at 60 cents, just under 60 cents. And Rift Watchers is way underproduced compared to Chaos Legion. I think Rift Watchers, there's only like 100,000 packs, and Chaos Legion is like 1.7 million. So there's a lot fewer Rift Watcher packs out there. And Rift Watchers is holding their value pretty well, all things considered. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out to you guys. I know I talk about it all the time on my channel, just how thin our market is, even for things that everyone thinks is so overproduced. And a lot of these cards you look at and you say, oh, it's $8 or $10. Click on the individual card, like Pellicor Bandit. Okay, yep, that's the price. But look at what the next card is above that. Usually it'll go multiples higher.
Yeah, the cheapest one, $10, and then the next one jump up to 22. And 20, yeah.
There was someone that did all the commons, and they were putting $28.88, and theirs was not the cheapest. So they're just waiting for those one or two copies to sell, and then boom, they're the next cheapest, and they're multiples higher what the last card was. And hey, if someone needs the card and they're that desperate, they're going to pay it because that's the only one available. So I just want everyone to know, don't be surprised. Like I said, if the market makes moves very suddenly. I've had it happen when I do my market watch video, and the time it takes me to get the data or record part 1, by the time I get to part 2, the market's already changed price. And I'm like, well, guys, this is what it was in part 1. This is what it is now. And that's just like 2 hours later. So the market does move very, very quickly. So
I'm just shocked because I'm someone who hasn't really been involved for quite a while. And just to come back to this, I had no clue,
Yep, we are Magic the Gathering 2.0, and we've only just begun.
It's certainly nice to have your bags full, where you're not feeling like you're missing out, because whatever happens now at this point, when you've been around for a few years, if the game wins, I win, right? But if you're arriving right now, get some FOMO. Get some assets.
Yeah, so people, I joke about it all the time. I'm not big for burning. I don't think I'll ever burn a gold card. I'll burn my regular foil Chaos Legion reward cards for Cinder. But yeah, I'm not burning the golds. I mean, they're just too hard to come by, even for Chaos Legion.
Oh wow, like you're right. The Rift Watchers, like from the commons, they're actually more pricier because there's less of them.
Yep.
Damn.
And especially for those of us that play in gold only guild brawls, you know, I need those gold cards to play in the brawls.
Oh, you wouldn't believe this. I was about to go and buy some Chaos Legion packs. Counterpunch has beaten me to the punch 1 minute ago.
I just bought 1,000 Hive as well, like as you guys were talking. 1,000 Hives worth.
On Hive, they're usually a little bit cheaper than in game. Like in game, if they're 33, 35 cents, Hive, they'll be 25 to 28 cents. So it's always good to go. It's always best, I think, to go to Hive, at least for Chaos Legion, rather than
I
going
used
directly to the market.
the beast swap. I had 1,000 Hive, turned it into swap Hive, and then that got me. How many packs did it get me? Let's have a look.
Okay, Matt, you and Boba Fett and Gio, you guys need to do a mass opening of Chaos Legion packs. I miss those. I miss those 200 pack opening videos.
100. I've got 108 just then. I just got 180 Chaos Legion packs.
Nice, Bob.
Nice.
For 1,000 Hive.
With the openings, I'll have to sit that one out, but I'm happy to use whatever. I don't really have many potions anymore. Matt really, he drained them back in the day.
Yeah, harvested them. I have 1,700 CL packs in game, and then another 464 in tribal decks. And I'm buying more now because I'm just got mad FOMO. I can't believe it. Counterpunch is like, he lives like 10 Ks that way, and a minute before I bought 19 CL packs at 25 cents, he did it. Unbelievable.
It's like you read your mind or your intention from like at home or something.
Yeah.
It's like, how did he know this isn't live yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like he just heard the show.
He's bugged your house.
He's outside. Is the window open, Matt?
He has a cup.
They really do have mass surveillance in Australia.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. That's okay. So that I was thinking, do I grab that gold foil ice pixie that's only $3, and then I thought, I'll grab Chaos Legion packs instead, and he's beat me to the punch. But that's the thing. I really feel like it's FOMO. I think the end of December is going to look very different to the start of December.
Whoa.
How quickly do you guys think the land cards will sell out when it goes live after the 3 days?
I should just interject for a sec. So I spent 1,000 Hive, and that got me 180 Chaos Legion packs. As you guys are talking, I just spent another 1,000 Hive, and this time that only got me 160.
Oh, you've already bumped it up and control punch as well.
You are a market mover.
That's enough for tonight.
Yeah, you've already dwindled. Yeah,
I'm going to say 24 hours, Magic, to answer your question. I think 24 hours for all of them to go. I think there's going to be a lot of people watching to see what happens, and when they start to really move, I think people are going to say, "Well, I need to move some stuff around and get it done." So I'm going to say 24 hours. I think they'll all be made after they're available, and then it'd be interesting to see what the prices do on the market when they get listed.
I think it's going to go in stages. It's going to go by the rarity. I think the commons and rares where people don't need aura, those are going to go quick. I think those are going to be gone in 3 or 4 hours. But like the legendaries and epics, like you said, I think within 24, 48 hours, those will be gone as well. I just have my fingers crossed that it's going to go live before 2:00 Eastern time on Friday, so I can get this done before I have to go to work. Otherwise, like you said, I might be calling in a little bit late.
Yeah, your colleagues are like, "Why are you in such a bad mood today?" Never mind.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand.
Try and explain it, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's my prediction. Well, Bob, you want to make a prediction? How long till they're all gone?
I don't know. I mean, we all live in our own little bubbles and our own universes. We've all got, like, we think everyone thinks like we do, and I'm always surprised by results. That's why I'm not a gambling man.
I hope it goes well, because this is the first attempt they're doing of land cards. So I hope it goes well and leads to more exploration of this as a concept.
What is the allocation percentage-wise of the overall pool of cards?
Oh, good question.
Is it like 10% or is it higher than that? Because I know it's not going to be that high.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
want to
think
say
it's
I
listed
want to say
somewhere.
10%, but I'm not sure. That's just a guess.
I think it is stipulated somewhere, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I don't remember seeing it. I think they did mention it somewhere. Hey, if anyone knows that's listening to this, please post in the comments if you know or have a link to where that information is. Because I hope it's low. I hope it's like 10%, so that when it does go live, 90% of the cards are still available to be crafted. So
Yeah.
give me an opportunity to get the common done before it sells out.
Alrighty, so we've just got a couple of minutes left. So just in wrapping up, anyone got anything quick they want to say before?
I've enjoyed having Gathering the Magic on as a guest. I'd like to see him come back again, mate. If you're keen to come back at some point and have a bit of a yarn, maybe towards the end of December, and we see how the land card thing went. That would be pretty cool. We can do a bit of price comparison, that type of thing, depending on your availability. That'd be great. I know we're missing a couple of weeks there, Bob, at some point. But yeah, I'd love to have you back. I think your voice is fantastic, and I'd like to see how it's all going with you. Have you jumped into the Twitch streaming? What's going on there? Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I'll probably be gone end of December because we're doing some traveling for the holidays. But yeah, January or anytime you guys need a guest, I'm usually available on the weekends on Saturday or Sunday evening, my time, which sounds like 10, 11 your time. So if that works out, great. Just send me a message on Discord, and always glad to Splinterlands.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for joining us on 203. I'm Boba Fett. Peace out.
See you guys.